chaos at the sheds. The Fat Controller was listening to the noise outside the sheds. The passengers were angry and annoyed as well. Soon the inspector came in. "There's trouble, there's chaos at the shed, sir," he said. "Gordon is sulking and there's no train and the passengers are saying this is a bad railway." "Oh, indeed," said the Fat Controller. "We cannot allow that," and he hurried away to the sheds. Then he saw the two engines feeling really unhappy. "Come along, Gordon," said the Fat Controller. "It's time your train is ready." "Gordon's not going," said Ferdinand and Molly. "We won't shunt like common tank engines. We are important tender engines. You fetch our coaches and we all shunt them. And we all pull them. Tender engines don't shunt." "Oh, indeed," said the Fat Controller. "We'll see about that, and engines like you guys must do as you are told," he said. And then he hurried along to find his train, and he was ready to find Luke as well. He said. He thought sadly, life has never been the same since Percy left the yards to run his branch line, and then he was ready. He found Luke playing with some trucks when the Fat Controller came in. "Luke," he said, "leave those trucks, please. I want you to give the tender engines their coaches, please. Would you do that for me?" "Certainly, sir," said Luke. "That's a good engine," said the Fat Controller. "Off you go then." And then he chuffed away. At last, everything was going like clockwork, and everyone was making up with good time, except those that are mean to Luke. At the next day, Luke was feeling so unhappy. The Fat Controller can see that when Ferdinand steamed backwards, blowing steam at him, and then got some trucks for him to take. "Gracious goodness me," said the Fat Controller, "what a noise." "They all hissed at me, sir," said Luke sadly. The both of them said that tender engines don't shunt, and last night they said that I have square wheels." "No, Luke," said the Fat Controller. You have nice circle blue wheels, and you have nice round black wheels, and I'm proud of you," he said. "Tender engines do shunt, but all the same, we do need another new engine here," he said. And then Luke hardly agreed. The Fat Controller went to an engine shop where they sell trains, and he looked everywhere for a nice posh engine. Who he saw was an engine that has a crane on. He was a crane engine and looked smart. "Well then," said the Fat Controller, "does this mean you will run my line now?" "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir," said the engine. "Thank you," said the Fat Controller. "I'll call you Harvey." "Thank you, sir," said the new engine, and the Fat Controller took Harvey to the railway. And there was Harvey puffing in to see Luke. "Luke," said the Fat Controller, here's Harvey. He's ready to learn the ways he must know." Luke smiled at the new engine. Harvey enjoyed everything really well with Luke, and was ready to learn everything he wants to know. Just then Ferdinand and Gordon were still in the sheds when Molly pushed in really cross with the new engine as Harvey hissed at Molly. Molly jumped and ran back to the sheds to tell the male tender engines about the new engine. Bless me, said Luke. I can't do that. Well, I can, said Harvey. You have to be a new engine from the engine shop to have one of those. Then Percy steamed in. Hello, Luke, said Percy. How was it without me? It was fine, thanks, said Luke. But where's the Fat Controller? Shh, shh, said Percy. Here he comes. Then the Fat Controller met them. Well done, Harvey, Percy, and Luke, he said. The both of you have been really useful engines. And this morning, Molly, Ferdinand, and Gordon have been really naughty, and they won't shunt like common tank engines. So I shut them up, and they won't be letting out anymore. So the both of you guys will run the branch line. Common tank engines, said Percy. We'll see about that. And they did. Luke, the double tender engine, enjoyed his life really well and did everything really good like what a double tender engine can do. Percy was anxious with his own trucks, so Harvey had to take care of him. The three engines enjoyed their branch lines, and Percy and Harvey were good friends and enjoyed themselves really well. And from now on, at the sheds, Molly, Ferdinand, and Gordon were cold, lonely, and miserable. They decided to be stuck in the sheds for being silly.